Hey guys, welcome back to a new month with a new TBR that is going to be picked by the cards. So to catch you up, last month I was doing the Owl readathon, and those 8 books that were part of my exam Owl, I would tell you all about it in a separate wrap up, but I quickly wanted to wrap you up on what the cards chose last month. I only draw 4 books with the cards last month. One of them was Notre Dame de Paris by Victor Hugo. I'm like a third into it. I am reading it quite slowly. I'm buddy reading it with Christie, and I will put her channel right there. And yeah, I'm taking my time because it's classic French and it's quite heavy. I am in like halfway through The Great Gatsby. I will probably finish this today or tomorrow. I am reading this, and alongside it I've been listening to like kind of a study of The Great Gatsby that do like a summary of each chapter and then tells you more about what Fitzgerald tried to do with this book and more about the era that it sets in and everything. So I've been really enjoying this, and it's super short. It's like 150 pages. And I've read Warbreaker. I reread Warbreaker by Sanderson, and I bought my own copy because this is officially like on my top list of Sanderson works. It's amazing. I really enjoyed it. I read it in like one shot in one day, so that was amazing. And I'm still listening to Laini Taylor's Strange the Dreamer, and I don't know if it's because I've read too much fantasy recently or what, but I'm not like super into it. I'm only like not even 10% into it, so I'm gonna push forward to like a third of the story. I heard it's a very slow pace, kind of character driven more than plot driven story, and that's usually not really my thing. So we'll see where I end up with this. So for today, for the cards, as usual, I'm gonna draw I think 8 books for this month. I'm supposed to go back to work around May the 11th. We'll see what will happen in France, but that's what's supposed to be. So I should again work a lot and travel back and forth through my job, so I will listen to a lot of audiobooks. So I will try to pick some books that I have available on Scrib or something. We'll see. If you don't know the cards, if you would like to get acquainted with the cards, I have a video dedicated to that right there. Okay, let's start. I'm a bit anxious of what's gonna come up. Oh, and I also want to maybe participate in the Asian readathon hosted by Cindy, I think that's her name. I will put the description, the link of the readathon down there. I've heard about it on Elliot Brooks' channel. So if I draw, I will see what I will draw, but I would like maybe to participate. So yeah, we'll see. This one, lowest rated. Okay. Why you don't like me? Like what? Why? Why? The first card I draw. Okay. So weirdly, my lowest rated on Goodreads is a classic. It's Moby-Dick by Melville Herman. I hope I'm saying his name right. But yeah, so I will be reading Moby-Dick. I don't really know much about the story except it's about a whale, I think. So I'm expecting like some travels and stuff like this. Maybe it's it's the lowest rated because the writing style is quite complicated. So we'll have to see what happens with that, but we'll see. I'm not too mad about it. Actually, I've checked and it's like 684 pages long. I'm a bit scared of the length of that book. It's like a tome. What did I put myself into? Okay, let's just pick another one. Okay, be good to me, be good to me. TBR Veteran? Really? Like, why are you doing this to me? Is it because I only picked 4 cards last month and now you trying to like make me pay for it, or what's going on? TBR Vet. So I've just checked with my Goodreads what's like been on my TBR for so long. And when I first joined Goodreads, I put a lot of classic that I thought I would love to read and to check out because I wanted to be like woke. I don't know. So I have a lot of classic to choose from. I have Madame Bovary by Fleurs on that list. I'll deal with that later. And I also have Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities on that list, which I'm super interested in because it's in London and Paris, and I love London and Paris. But I tried to read that, when was it, last year, and it was quite complicated with the English. Yeah, I still have my bookmark in there. I don't know, it doesn't, when I look at it now, it doesn't look that difficult. But I have that memory of it, that it was difficult. Or I have Madame Bovary, which is a French classic, and I think it's about like a 40 years old woman or something, flirting with a young man. That's what I remember from like hearing from at school. I never actually read it in school. I'm trying to make up my mind between like reading French classic or English classic. Mainly, the only difference is that this might be easier for the writing style part, but this will be more entertaining for me, I think. Oh, what to do? I want to pick this, but I don't want this to be my French classic of the month because I really wanted to read some poetry as my French classic of the month. So I'm gonna choose A Tale of Two Cities. So this won't be my French buddy reads of the month. That makes sense? Makes sense in my head, but I'm not sure I'm making the right decision. Oh, when did choosing your TBR became so complicated? Why did I do that to myself? Okay, some light-hearted read, please. I want to read some fun and easy to read stuff. Okay. 5 stars! Yes! 5-star prediction. I can't remember what I put in that list. Let me check. So I'm gonna have 2 choices. And then there were none. I finally ordered and received the beautiful edition of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I'm into mysteries right now. I really want to read more mysteries. I've been like craving it, so that would be a good occasion to do that. Or of course I can continue with the Stormlight archive by Sanderson and read Oathbringer, which means that I would read more than 1,000 pages long book this month. I really want to read it, but after those 2, I don't know what to do. This matches this so perfectly. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but I draw some silver stars on this, so it matches with the silver of this. So I'm gonna cut myself some slack and choose And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I'm super excited because this was probably my favorite read for school when I was growing up. I remember this like changing the game of mystery reads for me. Like, I discovered Agatha Christie, I was like, I'm gonna read every single Poirot. Never end up doing it. I'm doing it now. But I really want to reread this and see what are my thoughts now as a grown-up. So, okay, a little bit better. Let's see. New author, that sounds super good. Okay, I have some exciting ones I think I'm gonna have to choose from. Give me a second, I need to remember the names. So I bought this last year, like it was my first kind of purchase as I was first discovering booktube, and on the recommendation of Murphy Napier, and I still haven't read it. It's The Kiss of Deception. It's like a young adult fantasy kind of romance, but I have such a faith in Murphy Napier reading taste that mine usually matches hers quite well. So I definitely want to read this. And the other one has been on my TBR for quite a long time as well. It's The Wrath and the Dawn by Renée Ahdieh. and it's a young adult fantasy as well, but this one is more set in the Middle Eastern area. Sorry. It's a girl who chooses to be the next bride to a king who kills his bride every single time he wed them. She's kind of on a vengeful quest, and I think I know I have access to that audiobook. I have to check, but that would be a good way to go through it. But at the same time, I really want to read this because it's been on my TBR for so long, but the other one as well. So I think I'm gonna go for Renée Ahdieh, The Wrath and the Dawn, and that might work for my Asian readathon that I want to do. So that works well. I'm gonna choose The Wrath and the Dawn by Renée Ahdieh. Okay, I thread through and not too bad. Let's pick you. Highest rated. Yes, you're nice to me again. Okay, I should have known. Of course, my highest rated is Oathbringer. This is Words of Radiance. I don't have Oathbringer yet. So yeah, Oathbringer, Brandon Sanderson, the third book in the Stormlight Archive series. It's a beast. It's like this book but twice. And I apparently am up for it this month. I am equally like dreading it and equally excited, because then I'll be able to chat and look at all the spoilery thing, all the Cosmere thing. Like the only Cosmere book that I haven't read apart from Oathbringer is Elantris, and then I will be done. I could read all the Cosmere related spoilers and like theories and stuff. I could watch all the YouTube videos, so I'm excited to read it, but I'm dreading it because it's such a big book. But yeah, of course. As per usual, don't mind my copy not being the right one. It's like the overall gesture. It's a Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive books. Okay, shuffle. Something. Up. Okay. Let's choose. Short read. It is super nice with me right now. What do I have? Oh yes. Right away, I know. I wanted to go back to some Shakespeare's. Like I've read 2 Shakespeare's books so far in that edition, No Fear Shakespeare, and I quite enjoy both of them. Yesterday I actually watched a documentary on YouTube, I think it was, about the original pronunciation of the Shakespeare's and like how the rhymes used to work. Oh, it's fine. And how it changes some jokes, and like it actually produces more jokes, and like it was quite interesting. So it really brought back my interest to read more Shakespeare and like go through those. And The Taming of the Shrew is actually one of my best friend's favorite Shakespeare. She told me, oh, I love that one at school, so I'm gonna read that. The problem with the lockdown is I'm waiting for my local bookstore to reopen so I can order from them and like help them go back up, and at the same time I want to buy secondhand books, and that usually you found by browsing into different bookstores and stuff, and I cannot do that right now. So my stock of physical TBR is like getting very, very small. Okay. Let's see. You come here. Most recent, I like that. I was actually looking at some Asian readathon recommendation yesterday, and I put some on my Goodreads, so I'm gonna check out what I have. I know exactly what I want to read. I want to read a non-fiction that was recommended to me by Murphy Napier. It's The Girl with 7 Names by Lee. No, that's her last name. I don't really know how to pronounce her name. I will put the cover here because I really don't want to mispronounce it. But it's a non-fiction about her girl who fled from North Korea, and that's the story of how she got out and everything she's been through there and after she got out. And that's all I know, and that's all I wanted to know. Like, I'm very interested to hear from the point of view of someone who lived there and who was born there, and to learn more about this country. So super happy to be reading this. I think it's going to be a very hard read, but I love it even more when it's the real story from people, and yeah, it just grasps me in all different ways. And that's the last one. That's it. Yes, that's already the 8th book. All right. I still haven't chosen my French classic of the month. Okay, let's see if I can summon it. French classic, come to me. French classic came to me. Yes. Yes. So the poetry that I wanted to read is Les Fleurs du Mal by Baudelaire, The Flowers of Evil, I believe it is in English. I remember reading this for French classes in school, and I just hated it. I just didn't get the point of it. I think the author was like whining in every single poem, and that my teacher was reading way into it, like way more than anybody should see. Like, I thought she was inventing some stuff, like possibly the author could not have like intended all those flower things and like with the colors and stuff. Like, I was like, no way. But now that I'm like more than 10 years older and love more experience, there's a lot of not like sexual attraction discussion in this book as well, and I was very uncomfortable reading about that at that time. So yeah, now that I'm older, I want to see what I think about it, and like, is it better now that I'm older than when I was at school? And yeah, so if you want to join me into reading Les Fleurs du Mal by Baudelaire, it's a French poetry book. I don't know how they translate it, so if you want to go into that with me, I will put my video here, and you can join me. Like, send me a message on Instagram or leave me a comment right there, and we'll organize something to just read it together alongside each other and like speak about it and stuff. So that would be fun. In the end, I think I'm quite happy with the selection, especially those cards, because those are books that I would not have picked this month, but I'm really interested in them and I want to read them. So that's the point of the game, Melanie. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so this is an approximate representation of what my TBR is. I have And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, and Moby-Dick by Herman Melville. I hope I'm saying that right. I have Oathbringer, which is actually like twice this size, by Sanderson, the Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare, Les Fleurs du Mal by Baudelaire, The Flower of Evil, and The Wrath and the Dawn by Renée Ahdieh, and The Girl with Seven Names by Miss Lee, I will call her until I can know how to pronounce her name correctly. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all those books, if you've read it, if you want to read them with me, if you want to do a buddy read for any of them, let me know, and I will see you